So now, Perek Aleph taught us about Ikya Tshuva Min HaTeira. Perek Beis and Gimel are going to talk about Sh'yir L'Rotzen Lifnei Havaya U'Merutza V'Chavav L'Fanav K'Kedem Machet. Let's learn Perek Beis. And Perek Gimel is a Hemshech. And over here, Taka, the Alter Rebbe is going to speak about a lot of fasts. But these fasts are not fasts of Tshuva. These are fasts of returning to the Eibishter's graces, making the Eibishter like you again. It's a whole different bechin. Look, the Alter Rebbe Perek Beis. However, Kol Zeh, this is all speaking in Kapara or Mechila. So as far as atonement is concerned and being forgiven for the Aveda. That a person should be completely forgiven that he's transgressed the commandments of the king. That also tshuva shleim when a person does a perfect tshuva. And the bottom line is he doesn't get punished. Very maskinally, David, nothing is mentioned to him. David, not even a half a thing. On the day of judgment, to punish him, God forbid, in the other world. Because he's completely saved from judgment because of the tshuva that he did. And tshuva means I'm not going to do it anymore. Then of course there's kapara, and sometimes you have fasts to hasten the kapara or to replace the yisurim. But mitzad, tshuva alone, all you have to do is say, I'm not going to do it anymore. Right? However, continues Alter Rebbe and says, even though I am telling you, nevertheless, there are other madregas. And that is, that a person should return to the Eibishter's graces. And desired and loved by him, Yizbarach, like as if you never sinned, like before the sin. This would be tshuva me'ahava, tshuva me'ilah. Liyes nachas ruach l'kedim avidas Hashem shall actually enjoy your aveda. In other words, not just to say, okay, I won't punish you, but you're not my friend. In the times of the Beis HaMikdash, you brought a carbon elah. I feel a mitzvah say kala, even if you did a so-called small mitzvah say, she'ein ba karos of Mrs. Bezin, there's no karos of Mrs. Bezin. Like it says in Chazal in Safra, Al Pasuk v'nitzalei, that Hashem should again favor a person. The Gemara also says in Zvachim, the Eila mechaperes al mitzvah aseh, Eila atones for not doing a mitzvah aseh. And in the case of a mitzvah leis aseh, he did, and it's like a gift la'achash also tshuva after he did tshuva, which would be the chatos. And the punishment was removed. Then you bring a second korban to return to the Eibishter's graces, and he brings a mashal. A person rebelled against the king. And he appeases him. Through lawyers, through gifts which are gifts of atonement. And in Avedas Adam it's a korban chatas or a korban asham and so forth. And the king forgave you. Afa became still. He sends another gift, an offering to the king. Because this offering is not that the king shouldn't punish him, but it's they should be again desired by the king, that the king should want to see him. The lashon mechaperes, the lashon of the word kapara, now. What the pasuk says, v'nitzalei, you should return to the Eibishter's graces. V'nitzalei l'chaper Allah says by mitzvah saseh, which is always a date and not a praklit. L'chaper Allah, the Eibishter should give you. It's like the Alter Rebbe, ein su kaparas nafshi. This is very different than the kapara we spoke about in Perek Aleph. The kapara in Perek Aleph means that if it is wiped away, you shouldn't be punished. So the kapara lashon kinuach, it's wiped away, you shouldn't be punished. The kapara now, what's the translation of the word kapara over here? As opposed to the translation at the bottom of page 180. That's mekanech lechachet. Over here, kapara means to atone before God. Hashem should get nachas from you. These are Shambik Gemara. The Gemara says, as it's written in the pasuk, when a person brings the carbon properly, when the carbon is perfect, Hashem desires us. So we have two translations of the word kapara, right? The old translation of the word kapara is that he wipes away the Aveda, so he shouldn't be punished. And the new title word kapara is that he should be loved like as if he never sinned altogether. Right? So this is already a new Indian. This kapara is not for Avedis. This kapara is for dating. That after the king forgives you, you want to be his friend again. And David returns you to his favor like as if he never sinned. And for this taka we have fasts. But these fasts are not Yisurim, or instead of Yisurim, Vatla Gezeda, or tshuva. These are a gift to Hashem to show him that you love him, that he should love you back. Nowadays, we don't have a korban to elicit the will of the Eibishter through karbanis, and specifically korban oila, which is a deire, as opposed to a praklit. Like the Alter Rebbe, korban. This taka is replaced by fasts. The Gemara says, when a person fasts and he diminishes his fat and his blood, that he's diminishing in himself, as if he brought a carbon before the Eibishter of miyat chalbi v'dami. And it was this category of fasts that matzinu b'kamat anoyim v'amiroyim, we find by the name and amiroyim in the Shas still. Lachal kam v'kam in Kabbalah. Shaldavar Kal, that was something very minor. Tanya is Harbe Me'ei, they fasted many fasts. And we didn't want to Aveda. What are you fasting for? Well, the Gemara says about Abba ben Azariah, Abba ben Azariah permitted a cow to walk out with instead of a harness around its neck, it had a string attached to its horns, and there was a loose end that hung over the animal. It's a shayla from Hitzah, from carrying, and Abba ben Azariah was mated it. The Chachamim Eisem and the Chachamim prohibited it. So he was, of course, Yochid V'Rab, Malacha Gerab. One time, Yotza came per Asei Shal Shchente. His neighbor's cow went out with the Tzua Ben Kaneh, which he was mated, and he failed to protest. He should have said it's Asa, because the Chacham say it's Asa, even though he was mated. The Gemara says, his teeth became black from so many fasts, because he didn't do the words of his Chavedim. I'm not sure which is worse, the so-called Chil Shabbos or the Leikim Devei Chavedim. Bottom line is he fasted unbelievably. These fasts are not Shuvah, these fasts are not B'makom Yisurim. He didn't deserve any Yisurim. These fasts are dated. Hashem should love him. In other words, when you fast these fasts, and you don't want to fast, it's an Aveda. If you fast these fasts and you get Gishmak from the awareness that you're giving the Eibush and Achas Ruach, for you're being Mamayit, Chel B'Vedamim, for his sake, then it becomes an Inyan. That's why it's one of the reasons. We'll see in Pei Gimel more why we don't fast. But even in the meantime,
you don't really want to fast?
Well, no, later he's going to say because we're pushing 2 week physically. You have to have koiches to fast, because it's not allowed to lay in bed, fast and lay in bed. You have to fast and work, serve the Eibush. But also it has to be, I'm giving the Eibush Matana. Not I'm punishing myself. Miyat Chel B'Vedamim is a doira. For this also you have to be a Nahai Madadei. The Yeshua, the Gemara said about the Yeshua, Sha'amar Beish Nimi Devrechem Beis Shammai. He once said that he's embarrassed of Beis Shammai. Rosh Chodeshim of the Atzemis and his teeth also became blessed for many fasts. I don't know where this Gemara is. But Abhuna, the Gemara says about Abhuna, Pa'amachas one time, his Hapchalei Tuah Shal Tfilin, his Tfilin turned over. The two of his Tfilin turned over, his son and Mem Tzemis. He fasted 40 fasts, V'kahin Rabbis and so forth. These are not fasts of Tshuva. They're not fasts of Bittul Gzeira. They're not fasts of Levatel Yisurim. They're not fasts of L'mayr or L'zayres Mar Kabaros Nafshe. They're fasts of giving the Eibush Matana. And to give the Eibush Matana by starving yourself, well, you say it's there, and this is the basis for also the many fasts you have in Kabbalah. The number of fasts, like Kama, Venas, Vachatoy, various intentional and accidental sins. The Avshab, Ein, Ben, Kodesh, Leimisi, B'Deshmaim, even such Avedas, which there's no Kodesh and no Misa. And therefore there's no Inyan from Bittul Gzeira. There's no Inyan from being Machal if Yisurim with Yisurim. Nevertheless, they fasted, not out Tshuva, but out Doirim. It's a gift to the Eibush. For example, Allah Kadza, a person got angry, he should have Kufnan Al Tanya, 151 fasts, and I'm sure there's a reason why. And so on. I feel all this that Abban even on small rabbinic prohibitions against Tam Yena. If a person drank wine which is a goyz, but not Avodah Zarah wine, Stam Yena. Yisana Ayin Gimel Tanya is v'chuli, he fasted 73 fasts. V'chein al bittul mitzvah seder Abban, and if a person failed to do a mitzvah seder Abban again tefillah, if he didn't daven properly, or didn't daven at all, Yisana Samach al Tanya is v'chuli, you should fast 61 fasts. So he brought you 3 examples, right? The first example was Ein Bem Leikad of Leimitzvah V'Deshamayim Kas. The second is the Derabanan, Stam Yenam. And the third is a bittul mitzvah derabanan, tefillah. Derech Klal says the Alter Rebbe in general, say that Tanya, the secret of fast, his school and the flaw is a wonderful school. When you fast and you do it as a carbon as matana to the Eibishter, and the Eibishter loves you, Hashem will reveal himself to you. Like by a carbon, it's written that because there's a reach, there's nechech la'avai. You know what it says in Chassidus? Reach means the spirit that goes up, and nechech means the spirit that comes back down. So I'm translating reich, that when you do the fast, you mamshech alakus to yourself. So these fasts are that the Eibush should love you and reveal himself to you. It's not about tshuva or kapara or yasurim or anything. This kind of fast is going to be called a fast and a day that's desired by the Eibush. Cloud, that proves that when a person fasts properly, as opposed to that story in Yeshaya, when you fast properly, it's a day which is desired by the Eibishter, because it's an act of day.
What's the Yeshaya?
I don't know what the context, but it says over there that Hashem was not happy with a certain fast. So Alter Rebbe says from the fact that one kind of fast, the Eibishter was not happy, is a simon that this other kind of fast, the Eibishter is happy. Now we started a new sugi altogether. This is fasting, not al tshuva or yisurim, a bit like zeda. It's fasting al the Ritzoi, to return to the Eibishter's graces.